After the dust settled and the world breathed a collective sigh of relief following the end of World War II, a shadowy exodus was underway. Thousands of German officers and wartime collaborators who had staunchly supported the Nazi regime suddenly found themselves searching for a new sanctuary far removed from the Nuremberg Trials and the judgment awaiting them. Their reasons for fleeing were crystal clear. The Allies were hoisting their victorious flags over Berlin, and the German instrument of surrender had been signed on the eve of May 8, 1945. Germany, and indeed the entire European continent, had become a perilous terrain for these individuals. The regime might have collapsed, the war in Europe might have drawn to a close, but the network they had built over the years was far from disintegrated. Former sympathizers still lurked in the shadows, and the legacy of World War I was far from being erased in a single day. Even after the Axis powers' defeat, powerful men in Europe continued to harbor favor for their cause. Consider Spain, for instance. While officially a neutral country during the war, Spain was, in fact, a friendly state and supporter of Germany. The country was under the rule of Francisco Franco and had been embroiled in a civil war for some time, making it a safe haven for many fugitives. Spain would serve as a bridgehead to other potential destinations for these individuals. Furthermore, certain influential Swiss leaders had been outspoken in their support for Germany, and the Catholic Church itself played a role in aiding some of these fugitives, with several high-ranking church officials actively facilitating their escape. It was a narrow window of opportunity to evade justice and the looming threat of trials. Those seeking refuge had to carefully weigh their options within a limited time frame, contemplating new identities and faraway destination. In the vast expanse of South America, Argentina stood out as an enticing haven. President Juan Domingo Peron welcomed these former Axis members with open arms, driven not only by political motivations, but also by a shared ideological affinity. Peron admired the German ideology of the time, and he, along with his diplomats and intelligence agents stationed in Europe, actively supported the escape of war criminals. Argentina paved the way for their passage from Italy and Spain to Buenos Aires, offering a lifeline to those fleeing justice. Argentina's inclination toward the Axis powers was multifaceted. The country had historical and cultural ties to Germany, Italy, and Spain, owing to the significant migration of Italians and Germans over the decades. Argentina's population was predominantly of Spanish, Italian, or German descent, which fostered a sense of kinship with these European countries. This affinity resulted in special bonds between Argentina and Germany. In fact, during World War II, many German spies operated within Argentina, and Argentine officers and diplomats held influential positions in Europe. Perón's government was not the only entity that supported the Axis cause. Influential Argentines, including wealthy businessmen and government officials, openly endorsed it. However, even in this seemingly supportive environment, Argentina eventually declared war on the Axis powers just a month before the war's conclusion. Yet, some Argentine agents continued to assist defeated German officers in their escape. There was a financial incentive as well. Some wealthy Germans and Argentine businessmen of German descent were willing to fund the escape of these fugitives in 1945. As the Allies were busy dismantling the remnants of the Axis, it became evident to many that the next major conflict was brewing between the capitalist United States and the Communist Soviet Union. Peron and some of his advisors foresaw an impending global conflict and believed that Argentina could play a pivotal diplomatic role as a third party in the struggle between the two superpowers. Recognizing that these fugitive criminals shared an anti-communist stance, Peron saw them as potential assets in this impending Cold War. He aimed to bolster Argentina's position by recruiting these individuals, particularly those with military and technological expertise who could contribute to the country's armed forces and technological advancements. This strategic thinking mirrored the actions of other global players, such as the United States and the Soviet Union, who actively sought to acquire scientists and experts in military and technological field. To many, Argentina represented not only a new home, but also a covert sanctuary where they could escape the watchful eye of justice. However, time is a relentless force, and as the Cold War dragged on, these fugitives began to lose the support and sympathy they once enjoyed. Argentina, too, underwent transformations. By the 1990s, most of these aging men were living openly under their own names. While a handful were eventually tracked down and sent back for trials, many others simply blended into Argentina's sizable German community their dark pasts buried beneath the sands of time. The escape of these individuals to Argentina and other South American countries was facilitated by a network of escape routes known as ratlines. These routes often led to Latin American countries such as Argentina, Chile, Paraguay, Colombia, Brazil, and Uruguay. Colombia, Brazil, and Uruguay. There were primarily two routes, one from Germany to Spain and then Argentina, and another from Germany to Rome, Genoa, and finally South America. The willingness of certain countries to accept these fugitives, coupled with the sympathies of influential figures, made these escape routes possible. Geography played a pivotal role in the choice of destination. Europe, with its post-war turmoil, was clearly a dangerous place to hide. The Soviet Union loomed in the east, while the conflict in China and Japan added to the instability. In the south, Africa was predominantly under the colonial rule of France and Great Britain. To the west, the United States and Canada were potential destinations, but the stretch from the U.S.-Mexican border southwards presented more viable options. Latin America emerged as the most promising region, offering genuine prospects for a new life. Even if some fugitives were eventually apprehended after residing there, Latin America, particularly Argentina, provided an initial sanctuary, a fresh start, and a distant horizon where the ghosts of their pasts might never catch up with them. Argentina, with its open embrace of these individuals, initially seemed like the perfect choice. But as time passed and the world evolved, these men would eventually be seen for what they truly were, remnants of a bygone era. The support that once shielded them dwindled, and they found themselves caught in the crosshairs of history once again. Argentina, a land of intrigue and refuge, held secrets that unfolded over time. By 1955, with the fall of Peron's government, the landscape began to change. There was growing apprehension that the new administration might view their presence on Argentine soil with less favor, potentially sending them back to Europe. The new government's hostility towards Peron and his policies cast a shadow of uncertainty over their sanctuary. As the decades rolled on, these fugitives, once masters of disguise, became relics of a bygone era. Many had assimilated into Argentina's vibrant German community, their pasts relegated to distant memories. Yet, their story remains a haunting chapter in history, a testament to the complexities of post-war alliances, geopolitical strategies, and the enduring pursuit of justice. In the annals of history, the flight of these individuals to South America stands as a reminder that the past is never truly buried, and the pursuit of truth and accountability can span continents and generations. The legacy of their escape continues to intrigue and captivate, a story of suspense that transcends time.